I would go to Instagram instantly and start creating 2 to 3 reels a day and really hitting that niche of what I sell really hard, and sending messages every day. Anybody who starts following my account, messaging people who are in similar areas of what I, sell, what I represent. Those would probably be the two things, is creating reels, because that's the best way to get seen on Instagram right now. Reels and stories and messaging every day.
Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
MLM Nation, this is Simon Chan. I'm fired up to bring our special guest today. This was a couple, great family that got a chance to meet at the Leaders of Leaders Mastermind last year in Monaco. We have Natalie Robison. Hey, Natalie, are you ready to make it happen?
I am. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for asking me. I loved meeting you in Monaco. My family just loved you and adore you. So this is so exciting. Thank you.
Natalie Robison was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids before she got started with her current company. Her mom has a very interesting background, was a full-time leader and a free car earner in the network marketing company for over 24 years. But despite growing up in network marketing, Natalie struggled for years until she finally made it big. Today, she's a multiple 6-figure earner and leads a team of over 30,000 distributors and hundreds of thousands of customers. So Natalie, welcome to MLM Nation. I've given everyone a brief background, but take us back to your journey, how your mom got started in network marketing when you were 6, and how did you eventually get into the industry?
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. So my mom fell in love with a product line when I was very young, like you mentioned, and she worked really hard in her network marketing business. And I watched that for years. My whole life, we'd go to the grocery store and she would, hand out product samples, and she would get phone numbers and talk to people. She had the sticker on the back of her car with her phone number. I watched her take quarters to contact people at payphones back in the days because she didn't have a cell phone back then. And so I watched her grind in a way that was hard. It was a lot of work, but she realized her dreams through network marketing. She was able to make lifelong friendships. She was able to be a free car earner. And I just loved what I saw it do for my mom. And she wanted me to take over that space. And I was like, Mom, I'm not as passionate about that product as you are. And I think I broke her heart slightly, but it was a few business opportunities until I found one that was the product and the business opportunity for me. I had really experienced those kind of life-changing experiences from the product line. And so I knew I could really stand behind the product and really go all in.
Why did you do network marketing? It's because you sort of want why.
So I watched my mom do it, and I actually met my husband, Jordan, and he was involved in a network marketing company. And that was where the understanding and the dream building really took hold on my heart. They really encouraged making vision boards, dreaming, thinking big, developing yourself personally, doing the personal development, working to improve, be the best you that you can be. And I'm so thankful that I was involved in that opportunity with my husband. As the years went by, it wasn't a good fit for us with our young family, and it just didn't work as well. But I still had those dreams that company had brought out of me. I still wanted Jordan to be a stay-at-home dad with our children. I still wanted to have more. I wanted to be completely debt-free. I wanted to go on vacations. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to, experience what is out there if you will sacrifice and take big risks. And sometimes they feel like really big risks, and they're not. It's like buy a $200 kit and join, right? But sometimes that can feel like a giant risk. And so that opportunity really brought out those dreams and hopes. And I never let go of them. And then when I found the current company that I'm with, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can figure this out. This is possible. I still have my hopes and my dreams. I'm going to make this happen.
Now, when you emailed me, you said one of the things that held you back was that you felt only certain types of people could succeed. And you were not that type. What did you, I mean, obviously you believed in the industry, right? But you didn't believe, what did you mean by that? You weren't the type of person to be successful.
So I knew the industry worked, but I just didn't think it worked for certain people. And those certain people were me.
Like in what way? So what ways?
So I thought it worked better for someone like my husband, Jordan. He's very outgoing, very charismatic. People would refer to him as the mayor because he was so friendly and, he's just so good like that. And I just was a little more introverted, quieter, not that outgoing unless I really know the person really well. Like I joke, and I still joke to this day, like Jordan probably should have been the rep because he's just, it's his style. But by doing this, I realized anybody can do this, and that it's something that is learned. It can be taught, and anybody can push their boundaries and push past those fears if the why and the dream is big enough.
Was your mom like extroverted as well, like Jordan?
So my mom is just like Jordan. She's very extroverted. We actually went to a play around Christmas time with my parents, and my mom was sitting next to complete strangers. And by the end of the play, she knew where they lived, how many kids they had, what they did for, like all of the things, because she just wanted to get to know them. And that was totally my mom. And so maybe because my mom was very extroverted, I kind of went more introverted with those situations. So yeah, I definitely thought, well, people like my mom or people like Jordan, they're the ones that are successful. But truly anybody can do this. You can learn the skills of asking people, where are you from? What do you do for work? How many kids do you have? Just those simple things to start the conversation and let the other person lead.
Yeah, because I'm like an introvert too. I think the way I explain it is like you have a switch, right? You've got on button, you turn it on, and then you can turn it off. But you don't need to be, I think we feel like we have to be someone like Jordan. Because I remember Jordan was outgoing. I just met him back then. He was telling me everything about baseball, these tournaments in Missouri and all this type of stuff, right? He's like the easiest person to talk to. And I think when you feel you have to be like that, it can be very discouraging. But if you have a switch, on-off switch, you can turn it on and then you can turn it off, be your normal self. When did you realize this? Like that you could do it? Was it like a specific event you went to, aha moment? What was it?
So there's probably 2 times in my business, specifically remembering this happening. I was at our yearly event, and I just remember it like yesterday. I was sitting there at our yearly event, and it was some of the newest people that had ranked up. And I remember I grabbed my phone and I texted Jordan and I said to him, I should be up there right now being recognized for crossing as a rank. I will never not earn something like this again. Like it just put this fire in me because I was like, I can do this. I know what this takes. Stop being the scared, nervous person. Like, get out there, love on people, be kind, and just share. So that was one very specific moment. And then the second one was probably 6 or 8 months later from that. And I was watching a few of my downline just really sponsoring and bringing on new teammates. And in the past, and in other companies, I thought, like I mentioned earlier, it's because they're a certain way that they are recruiting. And I realized with these people, and I don't want this to sound mean, but I was like, there's nothing special. Like, they're really no different than me. Like, they put their pants on one leg at a time too. Like, they aren't taking a magic pill every day that helps them to bring on teammates. I'm just not asking enough people. I'm not going for that specific business behavior every day. And so I just kind of turned a switch, like you said, and I was like, I'm going to recruit 3 to 5 people every single month and I am going to crush this. Like, I'm not going to sit back and watch this kind of slip away. And so I just really got after it. I just never looked back since. So I used to think that sponsoring and team building was one of my biggest weaknesses. And now I would probably consider it one of my greatest strengths.
I think that's the beauty part of network marketing. Like you said, anyone can do it.
Yeah,
right? Like
anyone.
You said, just love on people and caring about them. And you learn that. You said you're building a team and it's one of your greatest strengths. What do you do? What do you feel like? Can you dive a little deeper into that?
So the biggest thing that I do is love on people wherever they're at, right? So people maybe, for example, I actually just brought on a couple teammates last month that I've been talking to for years. One was 4 years, the other was 2 years. And I just kept loving on them, kept checking in on them, kept saying hi, kept showing up and being really consistent. I think people want that too. They want to see that you're going to be consistent in your business and help them, and just not giving up on people, right? Having that faith in them helps them to have faith in themselves too, right? I feel like that's part of it is I just don't give up on people. I don't give up on people that I sponsor. So when they join, I help them, whatever that looks like. So if they want to do it just a little bit, they want to do it, more part-time. If they want to do it full-time, I help them with whatever that looks like. And I just really try to help people feel like they matter, even if they're not doing, buying from me or doing anything with their business, per se, or whatever it is, that they matter more than the business. And it's probably because of what I've gone through, right?
Yeah.
Where my first company, I loved it, but it just wasn't the best fit for me. And people were still so good to me when I left. I also wasn't like being, bad back, right? I wasn't like bad mouthing the company, but I think there's so much value in knowing that everything is teaching us, everything we're learning and growing from. And just because there's this old saying, right? Just because it's a no doesn't mean it's a no forever. It's just a no, not right now. And so we just got to keep loving on people, encouraging them. And that's probably my biggest strength is just really loving and caring about people and giving them that time and space to find their way.
You mentioned consistency. How important is consistency to success?
I would say it's like the only thing that matters. I'm sure there's other things, but actually, no, there are. But consistency is huge, right? Like you think about how consistent a mother shows up for her children and a father. You think about how consistently a teacher shows up as an educator and at school, a doctor and a nurse. Like they are consistently there to help and provide and be there. And so our teams are no different. Our customers need that, right? Consistency is something that I guess I'm just really disciplined at. If I don't feel good, I just still do the work because I know that it's not going to be any easier in a week from today, that life is just always throwing you curveballs. And it doesn't matter if it's, raining outside or sunny outside. Like you just got to do the do. You've got to do your daily minimums. You've got to do the things that you have committed to do. Consistency is something that I see is the difference maker in this industry with even like my downlines and my teammates. If they're not showing up, pretty soon their team stops showing up. But when they start showing up, all of a sudden their team starts showing up. It's just, it's like that one thing that is the difference maker next to probably attitude. Attitude and consistency are the two things that will be, and you don't even have to have the consistency be perfect. Like messy action is my favorite thing. I did so much messy action. I still do tons of messy action. Stop trying to be a perfect action taker because you'll never achieve that. There's no perfect anything. And so just get out there and take that messy action, send the messages, even if you're saying the wrong things or you feel like you're saying the wrong things, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So just speak, say what you need to say, get it out there, share and love on people. And that consistency adds up. It compounds and it just makes all the difference.
But let me ask you this. You have 4 kids. You're super busy. You're a mom. How do you stay consistent? I know people know it's important, but what tips can you give? Do you have any routines or hacks or that help you stay consistent despite the 4 kids and busy mom?
So it is very challenging to have a set schedule every day with my family because literally it changes. Like no 2 days are ever the same in my life. And sometimes it really drives me crazy and I get really frustrated about it, but I just learned to just let it be water off my back because otherwise it's what it is. So I try to wake up early with my kids. I set that intention, that time with them. I do a set amount of work before I go to my workout in the morning. I schedule my workout like it's an appointment. I really try not to miss it. I'm very scheduled with my day as well when my kids aren't home. So when they're in school, I'm trying to get as much done as I can, doing time blocking and all that. And then at night, I really try to be around and be present with them as much as possible. So putting my phone away, being very intentional what I'm doing when they're around. So like if I'm at a practice or something like that, they're practicing. I don't need to, for me at least, I don't need to sit and watch them practicing, right? So when they're at practice, I'll go do my walk. So I'll get a walk done and I'll message as I'm walking, or I'll work on my business, or I'll message people. So I try to also habit stack a lot. So maybe when I've stopped at a stoplight, depending on where you live, this might not be okay, but I'll send messages, or I'll talk to, I'll send a voice message during half times and timeouts. I'll just send a few things, really quick. So I just find pockets as well to continue to move my business forward. So I also have my non-negotiables every month of how many people I'm going to bring on to my personal team, how many customers I'm going to find, how many new people that I'm going to meet, how many messages I'm going to send a day. So I have some very structured non-negotiables. And so maybe I'll only get half of the non-negotiables done, for like, let's say the 50 messages a day. That's what I send a day. So I'll maybe send 10 in the morning and then I'll send the rest, in the afternoon. And then maybe I have to send the rest at night before I go to bed. So that's kind of my non-negotiable, and fitting that into my day it might not look the same every day, but I have my goals that I kind of tick off.
That's really good advice there. I like non-negotiables and working around the schedule. Shifting topic this is like my favorite question. What is your worst moment in network marketing, to the point that you even thought about quitting, but you didn't, and that's why you are the leader you are today?
What's funny is I actually just got asked this, so I think it's a good one. So these are 2. I'm going to share 2. One's still a little fresh, but it's okay. I think sometimes it needs to be shared. So probably actually last year before I went to Monaco. So 2020, my business just blew up. I mean, it was just crazy, right? People were looking for something to do and they were joining left and right. They were shopping. People were online. They were bored. And my business just exploded. I mean, we were having $20 to $30 million months. It was insane. So you can multiply that by 12. You can see what we were doing in a year. And it was just massive. We were microwaving leaders left and right. I mean, people were just like popping. Leadership was just happening, and all that. And then kind of started seeing, as people start going back to work, that kind of like where people just kind of started letting off the gas, kind of started to see a little decline. And so last year, when we decided to go to the Monaco event, I was in a funk. I was struggling. I thought I was the only one in direct sales and network marketing that my business had suffered a little bit of a decline. I was struggling with a couple things that were just going on that didn't matter. And I was just kind of like ruminating on it too much. And then when I went to the Monaco event, I realized, oh my gosh, like I'm not the only one. Like we all have situations like this, maybe not specifically like ours, but we all have things happening in our businesses or in our lives that cause those fluctuations. And when I left that event, I was so re-engaged. I was so fired up. And so it again shows how important events are. Whether that's in your network marketing business or it's put on by people like you, Simon, Rob Sperry, all the people that help support the network marketing industry, like it's priceless to spend that money to buoy yourself up if you're feeling like you need it. So that was one point where I was just like, oh, I don't know, like, can I keep trudging forward? And I went to that event and I was like, yes, it like lit a fire in me again. And I was like, you know, I'm going to get emotional. I'm like, yes, I love this industry so much. I love what it's done for me and my family. I love what it's done for so many of my teammates. And what is possible here is truly a dream if you will just take those risks, be consistent, and do the work. The other one was I had a downline message me a few months ago, and I've worked really closely with her. And she was like, you know, I think I'm going to quit. I'm just, you know, thinking about doing this X, Y, and Z, another business. I wasn't in the right mindset. And I was like, not totally there to deal with that. And I started to kind of act like her boss. Like, what are you doing? I can't believe you're thinking about doing that. Like, why would you do that? And I hung up from that phone call with her. And I was like, I did not do that correctly. Like, I did not approach that correctly. I'm not her boss. And I think it's because I love her so much and we've worked so much together. I just like freaked out, right? Instead of taking a step back and just saying, hey, you know what? I love you no matter what, which I will. And I'm going to cheer you on no matter where you go and what you do. You know, we had a talk after that again. And I just said, you know, I love you. I want you to be the biggest winner. And I think walking away from the amazing team that you've built, the work that you've put in, like, don't pass that off to me. Don't give that to me. Like, don't have me earn from what you've worked so hard to build. Like, you stay here and fight for this. And so it was a lot better, but it still was a point where I was like, man, I still have so much to learn. So that was a good learning opportunity for me.
Did she end up staying? Was she end up quitting?
Yeah. She's still here. And I just talked to her about like, hey, you know what can you do? Like, her life has gotten really stressful over the last couple of years. She's had some big changes. And I said, you know, let's talk about what you can do, kind of those minimums, right? Like, maybe don't try to be the top sales and the top recruiter. Like, let's talk about how you can maintain. And when you're ready to do a sprint and you're ready to do a push, like, then let's push. But a month after month push and sprint, like, it is going to wear you out. Like, you've got to know when to sprint. You got to know when to jog. And right now, you just got to jog. We're just going to jog. We're just going to, you know, maintain where we're at. And when it's time to sprint, and you feel it, and I'm ready, you know, and you want me to help and be there for you, I will be more than happy to help push and help you along. So it was a good conversation. So yeah.
Awesome. They, you know, I want to add one thing too about the event. Right? I think there's a lot of the Monaco event. Like, I know you make good income, but that was not a cheap event for you, especially you brought all 4 of your kids there, right? It was
No. Yeah. It was not. So Jordan and I had talked a lot about taking our kids to Europe. And I was like, Jordan, this is the perfect chance. Like, we're going to take everybody's going to be so fun. We're going to go to Italy. Italy is one of my most favorite places in this world. It's going to be so fun. And I would not have been able to do that without my network marketing business, without the income that has been given to us. I don't want to say given, but just, you know, this opportunity has been provided. Without this industry, I think sometimes we don't dream big enough. We don't push ourselves to think, what crazy things can I do in this space? What is really possible if I will just dig in, get over myself, get past my fears, my hesitations, and just love on people in a way that they know that I'm going to love them, whether they're part of my company or not. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that just makes such a difference because that love is then given back. Right.
Yeah.
And it was just such a dream come true to be able to go there and bring our kids and have them meet all of you guys at that event.
Yeah.
That was so awesome to have them get poured into and loved on, and to be around such positive, powerful, influential people. Like, you think about the people that your kids are around. You want them around some of the best people. And you, Simon, were, one of those people. And I'm just so grateful and happy that we got to provide that opportunity for our kids, and took that, little leap of faith, like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to, we're going to make this happen. And it, honestly, I would probably pay that trip cost again 20 times over,
Yeah.
because it was priceless.
And I think that's the lesson. Like, a lot of times people say, well, I'll go when I can make money, right? But you would have gotten your aha moment and your belief back if you didn't invest in yourself, right? You got to invest in yourself, because you never know what's going to happen. Because your business was a decline and your mindset was not the best, right?
Yeah.
You didn't go there. You probably, a lot of people say, well, I can't afford to go because my business is declining. How can I afford to take everyone there? I should save this money, and like when business is back, then I'll go. But I think that's the wrong way to think. You have to go and you get your breakthroughs during the breakdowns, after the breakdowns.
Yes. Yeah. That phrase is a phrase for a reason, because in the breakdown, you're humble, you're willing to listen, you're ready to be taught. And when you're in that place, you have this moment for massive growth if you'll take it. Obviously we didn't have to take our kids. Like, we could have done it, much more cheaper, I guess you could say, but I'm so glad we did it. And I'm so grateful that my kids allowed that as well, that they were such good troopers, because there was moments they weren't super loving the trip, but that they allowed that for Jordan and I, and for especially their mom, to have that chance to grow and to learn and to have that breakthrough. So,
hey, thank you so much. As we go towards the end of the show, Natalie, some really quick questions to pick your brain. And these can be quick one-liners, okay?
Okay.
First one is, what is one of your favorite success quotes that motivate you?
My favorite one is the quote by Henry Ford that goes, if you think you can or you cannot, you're right. Either way, it's something like that.
Yes.
But I love that, because your mindset is everything, right? And this goes for, being active with your fitness and health. It goes into whether you can, start a business and push past those initial no's, and the people that are saying, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? It's one of those things. If your mindset is there and you're like, I am going to do this, whether you're with me or not, like, I'm going to make this happen. If you are that determined, you're going to make it happen. Right. So I love that success quote. It's one of my favorites.
What is one habit that's helped you become successful?
Showing up every day in my business. That was something that I learned in the company that I was a part of with my husband, Jordan. 4 habits that we were supposed to do every day, and you did them no matter what. And it was reading and listening to like a podcast tape type thing and some other things. And every day, if I'm working in my business, whatever that looks like, I'm showing up. And that one behavior will be a difference maker.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Don't be anybody's boss. I'm not anybody's boss. So that's probably the best advice. And it's so true. This is their business, and you can do with it as you so choose.
What's your favorite prospecting tool? Say someone's a qualified prospect. What do? You give out a sample? Do you send a video first? Do you get them, meet them face to face, or do a Zoom? What do you like to use?
My favorite is to try to meet them face to face or a phone call. Just try to like have a connection with them right off the bat. That's my favorite. But really, all of them work. So just what I found over the years is one prospecting tool, it doesn't fit all, right? So you kind of have to have your bag of prospecting tools, and you're going to have to pull from it to know which one's going to be the best. Sometimes you give, a product, a sample. Sometimes you've got to do, a phone call, got to meet in person, all the things. So
what's your favorite app on your phone that's not a social media app?
My favorite? Probably, this is going to make me sound so, it's probably my camera, because because I wear and share my product, right? And so I am really intentional with taking pictures and creating content and doing that part of the work. So aside from that, probably my CRM too. So probably making sure I'm using my CRM and my camera.
Which CRM do you use?
So I love Teamsy. Teamsy is one of my favorites. I found it a few years ago and it literally became my brain. Like I was like, this is the best thing ever, because I don't even know honestly how I became successful without it, but I did. I was just like my calendar and a pen and paper, and I'd have my lists and my sticky notes, and I would just have them everywhere and like all the things. I was like this crazy person. And then when I found Teamsy, it was like everything just got so streamlined and made my life so easy. So I know there's tons of CRM systems out there. Hopefully it's okay I mentioned that one, but
yep. What are 2 or 3 books you could recommend to Amway Nation?
Okay, so I have a couple for sure. So a few of my favorites are, because of the product that I sell, one of my favorites is Direct Selling for Dummies by Belinda Ellsworth. Excellent book. Get Over Your Damn Self by Romi Neustadt. Direct Sales from Amway to Zombies by Randy Gage is another favorite. And then the 45-second presentation by this is the new one. Don Fela. Yeah. That one, I recently found that and it has like blown my mind. I've always known like taprooting, how to taproot. I've been big on that, but this just like, it's a great book. So.
And here's the last question, the $1 million question. You ready?
Okay.
So imagine you had to start all over again and you knew no one. You didn't know your kids, didn't know your husband, Jordan. You had a contact list of 0, but you had all your current knowledge, skills, and wisdom. What's the first thing you do or the first place you go to build a network marketing business from scratch?
I would go to Instagram instantly and start creating 2 to 3 reels a day and really hitting that niche of what I sell really hard, and sending messages every day. Anybody who starts following my account, messaging people who are in similar areas of what I, sell, what I represent. Those would probably be the 2 things, is creating reels, because that's the best way to get seen on Instagram right now. Back in the day would have been at least a post a day, right? And stories. Now it's reels and stories and just messaging every day. So yeah, those would be my 2 ways to hit it hard.
As we wrap up, any last words or advice? And then what's the best way listeners can connect with you?
My last little things for advice would be, don't quit. Don't give up. If you're struggling, having a challenge, or need help with something, reach out for help. Ask an upline, ask for mentoring, ask for coaching, get the help that you need. Don't just sit there and spin your wheels, because you're probably not doing it wrong. You could probably just do it better. It's not that you're doing things bad or wrong. It's just you could probably tweak it a little bit and make it better. So that's probably my biggest advice, is just don't quit on yourself and your dreams, right? And believe in yourself. And belief comes from taking action. So take the messy action so you can start to believe, and you can start to see the results, and you can start to have the success that you want. I am Natalie in Stretchy Pants on Instagram, Natalie Robison on Facebook. It's also listed as Natalie in Stretchy Pants. And those are like the 2 best ways. I'm also on TikTok, Natalie in Stretchy Pants. So yeah, that's how you can find me. And I just thank you so much, Simon. So nice.
Hey, ML Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And today you've been hanging out with Natalie Robison. So keep up the momentum. Head over to mlnation.com, click on the podcast tab in the show notes that has all the nuggets of wisdom that Natalie shared, including the links to her profile right there. Definitely go follow her and get in touch and reach out to her and just check out what she is doing, the good stuff she's doing. Hey, in order to be successful in life and business and network marketing, you must help others. So Natalie, thanks again for sharing your valuable time with ML Nation. We're grateful to you and we appreciate you for having a positive impact on millions of distributors worldwide. Thank you so much again, and God bless you.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, ML Nation, here's a recap of a great show from Natalie Robison. Make sure you head over to mlnation.com, click on the podcast tab, and then you can go to show notes and the links to her profiles, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok are there. You can definitely follow her and see what she does. She actually does very good reels, especially for the products that she is marketing and the lifestyle that she's marketing. It's really, really good stuff there. And if you like this, by the way, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast player. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. These podcasts take a lot of my time to set up and also Natalie's time. So, hey, they're free, but they're not free. But it's all I ask is if you like this, please subscribe, leave us a real review. It will really mean a lot to me. Yeah, I appreciate that. And then also, the more you do that, we had to elevate the profession. This will get the podcast to show up more when people look for business, for marketing, networking, and because there's some podcasts about negative on network marketing. Let's bury that and get the good stuff lifted up in those search rankings. So, all right, I think I love this episode. She's an introvert. We talk about the keys to success, and I think her objection is very common. Like you think you love the profession, but maybe you feel that's not for me. I can't do it. It's not, I'm not the type of person, right? And I think she makes it simple. And I was talking about this on switch and off switch. You turn it on, turn it off. Introverts can be successful in this business. And it's just to love and care about people, right? And stay consistent. She shared about some of the people that she meet 2 years, 4 years that she reached out to, but they weren't ready. And you just love on them, follow up with them, care about them. And eventually, as long as you stay consistent, things will happen, right? Love on people who, even if they're not building, right? Your team member, create that fulfillment. I think one of the things we talked actually before about her mother, when she was involved in that company, she always had a lot of fun, fulfillment, right? Make people feel fulfilled, and that's by loving and caring on them. Don't give up on people. I love what she talked about consistency. I think this is one of the main obstacles to consistency is procrastination. And why procrastination? Because you want to be perfect, right? And you said messy action is better than no action. I love that, messy action. And she gave a lot of examples where she's sending out messages in between halftime breaks. And one thing, pay attention to, she always does her non-negotiables and she scheduled it into the day. So she's never like, oh, I'm tired, and the day gone by, she hasn't done anything. She messy action and schedule into the day. We take action all the time. And these are non-negotiables. She has to do the business every single day, showing up every single day, doing those core habits. And anyways, great stuff here. And I think the other big aha moment is events, right? Events. She got her breakthrough at an event when she saw other people who were not, quote unquote, not as special become successful. And even, I didn't even know this when I saw her met her at Monaco last year, that she was down. She was down. I think the difference is when you're down, that's when you really need to go to an event. She could have easily said that, and even if she didn't take her kids, flying to Rob Sperry's Leaders Mastermind. By the way, if you want to go to Leaders Mastermind, message me. I'll hook you up, but it's a special invite only. But she went there. It still costs money, and she has to go to Monaco. The airfare between she and her husband, Jordan from Utah, is not cheap, right? But she couldn't afford not to go. And fortunately, she did go, and she had those huge breakthroughs there, and her business was down, declining, and now it's bounced back up, right? And because the breakthroughs happen after the breakdowns, and the events is when often either you get some emotional experience, you're fired up, like the way she felt that she could do it, or you realize other successful people are going through the same challenges and how they're doing it. And you're not, like what she said, you're not doing it wrong. You just need a couple of tweaks. Right. And then you get better and better. So anyway, great episode here. Definitely go follow, put the links to Natalie's social media profiles on mlnation.com. Just go on the show notes page. And then again, please subscribe and leave us a review. Really, really appreciate it. Hey, that's what I have. I'm Simon Chan. I'm out of here. Make sure you take action on what you learn. And remember, even if you're an introvert, you can do this. But love on people, care about people, and go out there, have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless you all.